Now, Senator Josh Hawley represents Missouri in the U.S. Senate, and he joins us now. Thanks for joining us, Senator Hawley. You've talked about in a tweet recently about how it's time for a change in the GOP, that it's time for new leadership in the Republican Party. And having served in Congress for 8 years, I know how much pressure there is for members of both parties to follow leadership, go in lockstep, vote party line. I think that's really, there's a lot of different issues, but what kind of leadership do you envision for this new Republican Party that gives people the freedom and independence to actually vote their conscience?
Well, we need good, strong, independent leadership that actually listens to voters and doesn't just listen to the Washington lobbyists. And I'll just tell you, when it comes to the GOP, the Washington Republicanism that cares more about Wall Street than it does about working people, it's time for that to come to an end. The Washington Republicanism that's all about adventures abroad, the neoconservatism of these global wars, not focused on working people in this country, it needs to come to an end. I think what voters are asking us to do is pretty clear. Secure our streets. Let's put new cops on the street, 100,000 of them. Secure the borders. Stop the indoctrination of our children and bring jobs back to this country. It used to be you could support a family on one good wage. You can't do that anymore in this country because of the ruinous trade policies that unfortunately both parties have supported. That has got to come to an end. Republicans have got to be the party of working people and working class culture. That's what we're fighting for.
Yeah, Senator Hawley, I think when we look at how many people didn't even show up to vote at all on this last election day, I think that alone sends a really strong message that we're not hearing the pundits address, which is people don't have trust that they actually have public servants there in Washington who are fighting for them, not for the party, but for them to address some of these challenges that you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. If you look at who didn't show up, Tulsi, you've got independents who don't like Joe Biden, and they voted for President Obama back in the day. They voted for President Trump, but they looked at the options this year and they're like, nah, I don't like Biden at all. I don't like the Democrats, but I don't trust the Republicans. Why? Because the Republicans weren't offering anything. They weren't saying we're going to secure the border. They weren't saying we're going to put cops on the street. We've got to go out there and make that case. We need new leadership in the Republican Party in Washington. This is why I will not support Mitch McConnell for leader. We need new leadership, but we also need real convictions. That's what we've got to be about going forward.
Thanks so much for joining us, Senator Hawley.
Thank you.